Γεια σας, το Guitarspot σήμερα βρίσκεται στο κύτταρο και καλεσμένος μας είναι ο Angelo Batio. Mr. Angelo, thank you for taking the time for this interview. Is it your first time here in Greece?
No, it isn't. I was here 2 other times doing guitar clinics, but this is the first time with the band in concert.
Okay,
so,
okay.
It's nice.
So what can we wait to see tonight with the band? What's the difference?
Well, in my own solo concerts and clinics, I do a little bit more of my own material. We have a singer, and I do really cool arrangements of classic songs. So we're going to do more vocal-oriented songs tonight.
Okay, so what's the repertory? Because I had something in the sound saying it sounded kind of a surprise for me. Because of your solo material.
Yeah. It's not as progressive. It's more classic. You know, Clapton, Led Zeppelin, Metallica, and then my own music.
I guess that's the kind of music you started listening when you first started the guitar.
Yeah.
So let's go back there. When did you first started playing the guitar?
At 10 years old.
Did you have someone in the home that played the guitar, or?
No, I just like the instrument.
Because of the music you were listening?
Because what?
Because of the music you were listening at this age?
Yeah, I think so. It's I started piano at 5, guitar at 10, and I love the sound of the guitar, so that's the instrument I wanted to play.
And all this classical influence that you have in your playing, when did it strike you that's something interesting?
I think that I mean, my mother plays piano. Everybody's heard classical music, so I just liked it, and I have a degree in music, so it was just natural that I wanted to play that style. But I don't want to sound like a neoclassical guitarist, because that's more of a Baroque rock technique, and there's so much more to music, orchestral music, than Bach. I love Bach. But I don't sound like Yngwie Malmsteen when I do this, because he focuses on more Baroque era music. I don't. I focus on other styles of orchestral music.
Yeah, but everybody said classical music, but not everybody can incorporate this style of music in his playing so much as you and some other names that you started. What made you? What's the ingredients that makes you want to focus on that?
I think you just have to like it. You know, you just have to like the sound.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you started playing the guitar, you went to a school for that, or you self-taught?
No, I took guitar lessons for 3 years, and when I was 13, my guitar teacher said that he said he can't teach me. He said I was faster and better at 13 than he was when he was 25, and he said that he thinks I should just go on my own. So I did.
And you were self-taught from that point on?
Yeah, from that point on. Yeah, and like I said, I have a degree in music, so I know a lot about music theory, and so I applied that to playing guitar.
I've heard you in numerous interviews saying that the theory of music is very important for you.
I think so. I mean, I think it's like a race car driving, knowing about the engine of a car. I think if it doesn't make you a better player, but it makes you understand music a lot quicker. If I hear something that it doesn't sound normal to me, then I can listen to it and analyze it, and then I understand it right away. Versus someone who might not have that ability, and it's not a talent, it's just education.
Do you think that it takes something from the joy of listening to the music, or it adds another element?
No, I don't think so. I think all it adds is an ability to understand what you're listening to. That's all. It doesn't mean you don't like it any less, or if I like a song, I don't care who writes the song. Even a pop song, if I like it, I like it. If it's complicated, then I can analyze it and understand it. That's the key, I think, for me.
Yeah, but some will argue that the energy that you're gonna spend on analyzing, you will waste from feeling the song.
I don't see the two as being opposed to each other. It's not like, oh, you can analyze it so you have no feeling. That doesn't make sense to me. It's like, why can't you analyze it and still have feeling? Yeah.
Okay. So when you started learning the instrument by yourself and then going to the music theory stuff and that, what was your first, the first time you performed in front of an audience?
At 10 years old.
When you started the guitar lessons?
Mm-hmm.
That's unusual, don't you think?
Yeah. I played in front of my entire school at 10 years old. I played on stage since I was 10.
No stage fright, no nothing?
Well, I was nervous, but I liked it. I mean, that's how I've invented signature stage moves that no one had ever done. I mean, I invented this over-under technique, invented the double guitar. It's from years of performing live. So I had thousands of hours performing by the time I was 15 years old. You know, I mean, I played in bands, we played in churches, played in teen centers. We played everywhere we could play, at school, rehearsing. So I had many years as a young boy to work on the craft.
And your first instrumental record?
Let's see, when I was 16, I won an award for a jazz guitar solo. And they pressed a record of that. So that was my first album at 16.
For jazz?
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of the people that will know your name will have the idea that you are a metal shredder and
right.
not a jazz player or a blues player.
Right. So that first album was Shrapnel Records, called US Metal Volume 3.
Okay. Do you want to do more of that fusion stuff and?
I like it, but I think fusion has been around a long, long time, and it's never really jumped over the top. You know, I love Alan Holdsworth. I used to listen to El Di Meola. It's one of my big influences. I think fusion is good because it makes you understand chord progressions. You know, is it a style of music that's going to be super popular? I don't know. That doesn't mean not to play it, but I think that for me, I did a fusion song on my latest album called 5 Forever. Had Guthrie Govan play a solo on there, Alex Stornello from Italy. I like that, but I just write the way I write. However it comes out, it comes out. I don't worry about doing a blues album or doing this. I just do music I like.
But you don't feel sometimes that you want to express more things, and from some reason you don't do that a whole lot often as you wanted to?
No, that's not true. I express what I want. For example, most people don't even know I released an acoustic Christmas album. There's no bass guitar at all. So everybody says, Michelangelo, we want you to branch out, do this. And then I do it and no one knows about it because there's not this ripping guitar. So it's kind of like, does B.B. King need to play a metal album? You know, does AC/DC need to do a jazz album? Maybe they might feel the need, but for myself, I like to write what I write. From song to song, album to album. When you listen to Intermezzo, my latest album, or No Boundaries, the very first, there's a huge difference in the genre. So that's how I look at it.
Let's talk about the new guitarist that you mentioned, Guthrie Govan.
Yeah.
Do you have any names that stand out for you from the new generation of guitarists?
Well, I think Guthrie's not new. You know, he's not super young. Yeah. But I think that
he's been around 10 years.
Yeah, he's great. I think that for example, Jeff Loomis. He's a great younger guitar player. There's some really young players that are out that are not famous yet. They're really fantastic. But I think when I listen, I can't really pick out like some 16-year-old or 20-year-old guitar player that I really like. There's one called Jackie Vincent. He plays in a Pretty Boy band. He's really great. But I think in this era, the youngest generation is probably the best players ever. That's what I think.
Do you think that YouTube and the internet has something to do with that?
Yeah, huge. Yeah.
Well, do you think that it is more beneficial for the music industry in general, this internet revolution, or more harmful? If you have to compare the era that you started building your career.
I think it's both, because people don't pay for music, so that harmed the industry. I was on 2 major labels. I was on Warner Brothers twice, and I mean they're huge. They're $1 billion company. So when Van Halen is on Warner Brothers and they sell 10 million albums, the label doesn't spend all that money on Van Halen. The label spends money on some of the new bands. So Van Halen and bands like Metallica and even pop artists like Madonna, when you sell a lot of albums for a record company, they have money to find
invest.
new talent. They don't have that anymore. So all the young kids that have stolen music have only hurt themselves. See, because it doesn't hurt someone like me as much, because I'm already established. It hurts the youngest and the newest bands because there's no money for the label. So that's where the bad thing is. And a lot of it, I look directly at YouTube, to be honest. And I was just at YouTube in New York City. I like the people, but I cannot even delete my own videos. So how is that? How are they protecting artists? If I see a video online of me and my management wants to delete it, we don't have a deletion account. YouTube will not give us one. And so on Facebook, there was a my English pronunciation of my last name is not Batio, it's Batio. So there are Michelangelo Batio imposters on Facebook as writing as me. We tried to delete them, Facebook would not do it. So that's the bad part of the internet, that it's like anybody can do whatever they want. The good part is that it put the whole world in touch with the whole world. That's the really good part. So it's not, see again, like you've said a few things today where like technical or feeling or internet was good or internet's bad. It's not like that. It's somewhere in the middle, in my opinion. It's not, there's elements of the internet that have changed the planet that I can't live without. And there are elements of that where people stole music. It's a normal thing to take a song for free, and it's ruined a lot of it's made it very difficult for young artists. They've hurt themselves, and they didn't even realize it. But I do. I see it because I know what I had when I was coming up. We had a lot of money behind us to develop, but to work our music, because bands that were bigger than us were bringing in so much money for the label. So they were becoming rich, and they were taking money from those other bands and putting it into young bands like when I was young.
Okay. Do you think that time and as the audience matures will balance the things that were wrong and bring out more good stuff from the use of internet, or it will stay all the time?
It's not, well, I don't know the future, but it's not going to stay the same. I mean, the only constant is change. So we know it's going to change. How it changes? Well, put it this way. If record companies can't make money on music, they will cease to exist. I mean, it's if a movie company cannot fund their movie and then nobody will pay for it, everybody gets it for free, it will cease to exist. So what happens then? I don't know. But I think that sooner or later, people are going to have to come to the realization that music is worth something. It's always been worth something. And that if you want the next generation to be better musicians than what happened before, they've got to see, like, for example, what if I was 15 years old again, and I said, I want to be a rock star, what do I have to look forward to? Where's MTV? YouTube? Where's the money that I can, everybody used to think rock stars were so wealthy, because they were, because they made a lot of money. Now, it's not there. So why would somebody want to be what a generation ago wanted to be. So they have to rethink it. And I think that will happen. I have faith that the industry will find a way to keep out there, because music's too important. People like it.
Do you think that it is important for you to be technical, super speedy, innovative in your playing style, or
Yes.
do you think that there's other elements in your music that you want to bring out as the time goes by?
I think I bring out everything. I play every note that I want to play, and I think, again, this is the part that I've never understood, and it's technical, so it's got to be other things. I don't get that, because I think you play what you want to play. It's like Mozart said in Amadeus, when the king said there are too many notes. He told Mozart there's too many notes. Mozart said, I think there's neither more nor less than a requirement. And that's how I look. Listen to this guy. It's all over the place. So it's, I think for me, I play exactly what I want to play. And if it's fast, it's fast. If it's slow, it's slow. And I don't look at anywhere, I don't think about technical or, okay, now I'm technical, so I want to do something else. That doesn't register with me, because it's kind of like saying a good football player, well, he's technically got a good kick, so what else is he going to do? So he's technical, but now he's got to come up with something else. You use the technique to create. That's what every other great musician has done, and I just think as guitar players are really hard on other guitar players. You play electric guitar fast, so here's what everybody says: there's no feeling and you can't write. Well, it's always the same. It's just like in the 1800s, Franz Liszt was a brilliant keyboard player. They said the same thing about him. They were all, he's too flashy, too fast, has no feeling, and he can't write. They said exactly the same thing. This is where I study music. History keeps repeating itself. Most people say the exact same thing today that they said 100 years ago about the same thing. So let them talk. We still remember Franz Liszt.
Okay. Do you have any wishes, any dreams that you haven't yet to accomplish, that you want to do in the near or in the more further future?
No, you've asked a lot of great questions. I want to win a Grammy, and my real goal is to play music for as long as I live. For example, Tony Bennett, the American singer, is 88 years old. He just released a #1 album with Lady Gaga. 88 years old. I want to be 88 and go, and if people don't like it, too bad.
So the only thing left for me to do is to wish you well and wish your dreams to come true and become 90 years, 100 years old and play fast guitar.
Well, not fast guitar, but I want to play really great. It's not just fast. I mean, Tony Bennett in other words, keep your skill for the rest of your life, because that's what gets me so many shows. My skill is still really high. So whether I'm 50 years old or 20 years old, the skill is still there. I guess I said it wrong. I want to maintain my skill for the rest of my life.
Okay, that's a very fruitful dream. Thank you for this interview.
Thank you.
We wish you well.
Thank you. Great questions.
Για περισσότερες συνεντεύξεις, online μαθήματα κιθάρας και παρουσιάσεις μουσικού εξοπλισμού, επισκεφτείτε το Guitarspot.Gr.